Welcome to the Brunton Report. I'm here in Lucca in Italy at the recently christened Fosber Valley. We're looking at a €50 million investment, and I'm here to talk to Marco Bertola, CEO of the Fosber Group. Marco, thank you for joining me today. Wonderful to catch up with you. Obviously, some fantastic news taking place, which we'll come to in due course. But let's start with a little bit of background. Tell me a little bit about Fosber, some of the basic histories.
For sure. This is a pleasure for us, first of all, and for me. So, Fosber was born in 1978 in a town, is a small area of Lucca, nearby. And then in 1985 was moved here in Monsagrati, where we are today. That time, the focus of the business was in the equipment for corrugator machine, like handling system, something like this. And then the previous owner, they start to invest in dry end machine, arriving to the end of the years 90, where Fosber was famous to be dry end specialist. As you know, the business was changed, and the world is going in the direction to have only one player for the corrugator line. So they decide to invest in the complete corrugator line, and in 2003, 2002, we was able to produce the first single facer machine. A couple of years later, just 2 years later on, we was able even to produce the complete line that today, is quite well known for everyone. The next milestone is represented probably from the selling of Fosber Group by the previous owner to the actual owner, Brunton Group. And these activities give it the opportunity to be, even more strong in terms of vision, like in terms of long vision for the company, considering that Brunton is a public listed company, well known, without change the management of the company. This is part of the secret because of the results of today. And arriving to today, where Fosber basically is one of the two leaders worldwide in the corrugator machine makers. So this is in short about 50 years in 2 years from now of Fosber story.
So, Marco, you joined the company back in 1998.
Exactly.
Obviously, you've started off in
workshop.
Yeah, in the workshop and the design. So tell us a little bit about your story. Where have you come from?
I try to be fast. Yeah, I was started in 1998 as a service engineer in the company, in the workshop, where we have the opportunity to know a little bit more of what Fosber was doing. And in the very few couple of years, I got the opportunity to join the research and development department as a mechanical design first, then to be team leader in a project for the strategic machine that at that time was the heart of the dry end, that is the slit scorer, arriving to the opportunity to cover the position of production outsourcing manager. So I got and has the opportunity basically to cover 90% of the department of Fosber without finance, arriving to the big change that was happening in 2015 when I received the offer or request, let's see. But for me it was an opportunity to cover the position of general manager of Fosber Asia. It was the biggest challenge probably, but even the biggest opportunity from personal and business life. In 2015, I covered the position up to 2021. End of 21, when I decided to be back in Italy for several reasons. One of the reasons because the project was almost completed in terms of startup, and I got the opportunity to become as a general director for first general manager of Fosber Group, and in a couple of months to cover the position of Fosber Group CEO.
Mm-hmm. So if we look at the development of Fosber, you touched on Fosber Asia. obviously very active also in North America with Fosber America.
Yeah.
What do you see as the key milestones and the key growth opportunities for the business over the last 15 years?
For sure, the North American market is representing still now one of the biggest markets for Fosber, and the secret is to never give up. So we have to listen quite carefully the market and the customer needs, to be flexible and open without give any kind of company imposition. And this is part of the DNA of Fosber, to have our idea in terms of technology, but to be very, very close to the market needs. The other opportunity is coming for sure from Asian side, talking about the startup of Fosber Asia that arrived into 2017, where we have the opportunity to have our product range for Chinese market, then for Southeast Asia. And this is another huge market that representing a big opportunity to growth. Mm-hmm. In Europe and Latin America, to different area, to different reasons, but there are some common parts even worldwide. That is the plastic-free policy, for example, that give a boost to our business. Then the COVID, that unfortunately it was quite big troubles for the world, but in our industry, mm-hmm, gives an help to growth because of the e-commerce and all the activities that is related to the ESG process. So we are talking about sustainability, and sustainability is just a word, but inside there are many different meanings that is important to take care, especially during the design of the new technology of the machine.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there has been an awful lot of change within the corrugated packaging industry all around the world. What do you see as the biggest challenges and also the biggest opportunities for our industry?
The biggest challenge for the future, for sure, is represented by the sustainability, for sure, but even the difficulties to hire people in our industry. And this is something that has to be focused for sure during the design, but even the roadmap of our R&D process. Usually, we are able to make a 3 and 5 years plan of R&D, but keeping the focus even on the change of the contents. So we have not to be so strong to follow in our process, but the main concept, yes, what I'm saying. Several years ago, Fosber started the process of the digitalization, starting from the IoT, arriving today that we are talking about artificial intelligence. We prefer to put the machine in condition to have an intelligence on board instead to invest too much in the automation, because the automation at the end is not flexible. And at the end, is more important to give the freedom to our customer to use the correct person and to hire the correct person and use in the business where there is more adding value. This is the reason why, at the same time, the improvement in terms of technology, even the human interface that is so important, help to be more attractive. The new generation is the smartphone generation. There are no possibility to be attractive if you use whole technology, even in terms of human interface. And this is why we are pushing a lot to improve the intelligence of our components and our machines, at the same time keeping the focus of the importance of the people. So the technology has to be something used by the people, not vice versa.
So you've touched on a very important part here, which is people, it's skill sets, it's generational changes. And this is something that we hear every conference we go to, anywhere in the world. It's the same conversation. So it's a transitional period for Fosber Group where you're not just a machine builder, you're a technology company. And if you take a comparison with other industries, software industry, for example, we take Silicon Valley. So let's move the focus now, Fosber Valley. Okay? A massive 50 million euros invested, and you obviously have a great strategy for the development. Let's look at this story. Tell us what's going on.
Thanks a lot, because this is the correct link. Because Fosber Valley is representing not only the way to growth, but the concept of the industry from our side. How Fosber and Brunton Group believing which has to be the company in the industry of tomorrow. From our side, we have to say that from the real beginning, at least in the last 26 years, the people are the center of the focus for Fosber. People, technology, customers. Those are the three main pillars of our DNA. Fosber Valley is going to represent the results of those three things because it's the way to growth in terms of organic growth for the needs that we have to face off, luckily, in terms of more business worldwide, is the needs to be more attractive in order to be able to guarantee the continuities to the company to growth in terms of human resource, because we must have the correct space, the correct, the location where the people are able to express and they have even incentive to come in the office and have a good environment and so on. Third, but not for the least, for sure, and this is particularly my volunteer, is to reduce the gap that there is between the business world and the academical world. And this is the reason of why inside Fosber Valley we will have Fosber Academy. It's a complete, it's not just the reason that we are bigger and we have to increase the space. From the other side, it's even true that Fosber today is spread in 6 different buildings in Lucca, and it's important to live and to live together in the same area, even to share the needs of the company and increase the efficiency in terms of logistics, but even from decision-making side, we have to be together. Our work is really dynamic, and there are no division between production, commercial, technical.
Yeah. But you also have a very holistic approach with the Fosber Academy. So we're in the heart of the paper industry and the packaging industry within Northern Italy. So you actually feel that you have a role to play within the industry at large?
Absolutely, yes. I believe that I'm not talking only about Italy, because you know that we have even a company in Spain. We have several customers in Europe too. I think that in order to face off this change in the next couple of years, it's important to invest even in people in terms of young generation and supplier. Let's think about the ESG process. In Italy here, we have one of the main asset of Fosber is the relationship and the partners that we have in terms of component makers. Has to be protected. And it is even true that the young generation, the new generation, is 80% oriented to the business related to software or artificial intelligence. It's difficult that they can take care about mechanical side, because in the mindset there is still the connection between the old style of the mechanical mind, the mechanical approach. It's important to support even the decision that in different age the guys is going to take. Let's say, for example, at the end of the high school, someone have not clear idea of what means became mechanical engineer instead of software engineer or some others. This is where Fosber Academy is going to work, offering the power of the company that is an international company with a lot of big suppliers, like our main commercial suppliers, that we are able to offer even some training section that they can use for the university, for example, at the same time from our technician, because we will have an injection of new idea that is coming from the academical world with the young guys, with the traditional mindset of who is working in Fosber, for example, from 20 years. This kind of mix is the best way in order to share the experience and support one each other. At the same time, it's something that can be used even for our customers, because they need to have specialized people, and we will be able to offer the opportunity to came where the technology is made from the beginnings.
So if we move the focus a little bit now, so from a sustainability point of view, environment, it could have been very easy for you to go and build a greenfield site. you've chosen to stay in your home.
Yeah.
And you have decided to upcycle, okay? Why was that decision made?
Yeah, for sure, one of the projects in the beginning was to move Fosber in another place for a greenfield project. It was much easier even from logistic point of view to build up the internal logistic of the company. But then after several evaluations, even to show off that we are really connected with our origin, luckily we had the opportunity to have some building nearby that was old factory, and use that kind of space to rebuild the new factory and the new area for tomorrow. This is the reason why the project is called Fosber Valley, because it's about 1 kilometer of street fully covered by Fosber. The adding value is that is linked even to our attention to the sustainability, but not only from now, because you know that everyone in the last couple of years talking about sustainability. Fosber started to work in sustainability in 2003, starting with our internal certification to be careful. If you remember, our old slogan was less is more. Less is more is sustainability. We are able to make the same product with less component. It means machine more easy to maintain. It means lower cost of handling. So it means a lot of things. This is our really concept in deep, the DNA of Fosber. For sure, going forward with an investment of the new headquarters, we cannot avoid to proceed in our direction, and we will have the new building that will follow all the new rules in terms of sustainability. We will have the LEED certification for some of the buildings. We will have the energy that is coming from solar panels. So we are keeping the line, following our mindset. Doesn't matter that now probably sustainability is even a way to make marketing. Mm-hmm. It's different to use as a main concept, and this is what we are doing.
And obviously an awful lot of support from local government, local council. What is the timeline looking like? So when are you looking to be up and running? What does the build phase look like? And yeah, what are the times for?
This is one of the advantage to don't proceed with a greenfield project, because it's not one box that we have to wait until the end in order to use it. So we are spread in different buildings that we will be able to use step by step, that we are completing one by one. So the total project we are targeting to close within the end of 2027. Then let's see, because you know.
Well, Marco, thank you so much indeed for joining me today, and exciting years ahead, and looking forward very much to 2027.
Thanks a lot.